Yesterday, you guys had a really great practice, and you made some tough catches, big balls from Kirk. Just talk about yesterday's practice first, and what went well.
I think the ball was in the air, and playmakers were making plays. So I think that's what was going well, and to keep that consistent is going to be a big thing, and I think we're doing that right now. So it was a fun practice.
And then today, it seemed like you were frustrated at times. So could you kind of contrast like yesterday and today, and then what happened today?
Well, I felt what it's like, to be with a QB of that caliber and being able to go out there and kind of do what I know I can do. And so now I've seen it and I felt it. So now it's a consistency thing. And I think if I don't have a day like that, then it's a failure, So I think that's just me just being the competitor and trying to push myself for consistency and just being great.
I saw you and Kirk and Kyle with AJ over like in the far end, like working on some stuff. What were you guys talking about? What were you working on?
We were just working on stuff after practice. Something that we usually do, especially AJ is willing to help us, and we were just getting some work.
You guys are getting a pass rusher from New England, that Matthew Judon. How exciting is that?
Very exciting. Anything to help this team win, I'm all for it. He's on the defensive side, so I let them handle that. But I'm very excited for him to come over here and make an impact.
I know it could be frustrating after you have a day like yesterday, you as the offense collectively, and then today the defense come in and stop you all. But yet still, just looking at it as a totality, is that a good thing? Or how good does that feel to know that you can't have a day where your defense comes out and basically ball out?
Yeah, I mean, our mentality is that we want to be able to go out there and annihilate everything in front of us every time we step on the field, right? But to have the defense to come back and throw that counter punch and it be days where it's just straight back and forth, I think that's a good characteristic of a good team, I think that's going to help us in the long run, and that's literally iron sharpens iron. So I can't be mad at it, but at the same time, I want the offense to win.
I think every time we talk with Kirk, he has like a new compliment to say about you, whether it's your hands or whatever, the way you get the ball. What's that like to hear someone with so much experience in this league be so complimentary towards you and craft?
It feels amazing. He's played a lot of ball in his years, and good football at that. So to hear it from him is really, really good, and it just makes me want to go out there and prove to everybody that he's saying the right things, and that's true about me.
Having this training camp with him over these last 3 weeks and the times you guys had before mini camp and everything, how much has that helped you grow your game? What have you seen in these last month or two?
Immensely. And I don't even think it's just Kirk solely. I think it's just everybody here. There's different coaching techniques that are being used as far as getting to the player and knowing who he is and how he's going to reciprocate that. So I think that ultimately I'm just having fun playing ball again.
The team added a lot on the offensive side in the offseason. Kirk, obviously, Mooney, et cetera, Ray. They didn't do much on defense, but now they have this pass rush. Is that kind of like the missing piece? Could it be like that missing thing for this team to really take it to the next level?
I'm not really in the defensive room like that, so I can't really tell you. But again,
you do play against them, right?
I mean, yeah, but I'm not all up in the interior and stuff like that. So, they're doing a hell of a job, and the more pieces we can add, the better it's going to be. So I can't complain at all about any of that.
Kirk talked about how the team is just so in tune with each other, and they're actually friends and buddies. Do you think that can help the team as far as going into the season?
Yeah, for sure. When you have a bond like that, I think that's what makes big plays happen. That's what helps you down the road when the season gets grimy and things like that. Like, Mooney's going to take a screen. I'm going to block my ass off because I know that he's going to get me if I had the screen or whatever it might be. But to actually go out there in between the lines and fight for your brothers and say that they're actually your brothers outside the lines is a huge deal for a team. And I think we had that camaraderie.
And I seen you, I think it was a pass where it was broken up, or it should have been a touchdown. They didn't call it a touchdown. But I seen you slapping hands with Bates, and you all was having fun or whatever. What do you all share, like, different advice with each other as far as, okay, you need to do this, or on this play you should have done that instead of this?
Oh yeah, there's always helpful tips that everybody gives. especially to the guys who see stuff a little bit better than others. And we're just here to help each other, try to elevate the team in general, because if I help you and you help me, then that's just going to elevate us all, and that's going to push us to W's.
You said that you felt what it was like to play with a quarterback of the level of Kirk Cousins. I'm just curious, what exactly does that feel like?
Feels like you're playing good football. I don't know how to exactly explain it, but it's just a person who has countless reps. They've probably been in about every scenario that you could possibly think of in football. And to have that knowledge and then to go out there and be able to execute stuff like that, it's a little bit different. So I can't truly pinpoint that question, but it's just different.
So just like a feeling that's just like in you.
Yeah, there's a lot of confidence.
And in terms for you, big day yesterday, big day, or not so much today, but like the energy for you is kind of that same, like hyped up. Do you feel like you are looking to strike a balance, or is that just like you're going to leave it all on the field?
I told myself I'm going to be me this year. There's no more, I don't want to say necessarily hiding, but I'm going to be me this year. I'm going to play ball that got me to this point. So I'm not reverting back to any old past or whatever it might be, but I think I'm just going to be me from now on.
Which means what exactly? More aggressive?
I think more loose in a sense. I'm going to talk my talk, I'm going to play my game, and whatever happens, happens, because that's me at the end of the day. So I'm gonna do me.
Did you feel like as a younger player you needed to suppress some of that, or was it just because you were still learning and you had so much other stuff on your mind?
There was a lot of stuff that was going on, but I think it was mainly trying to get comfortable for the game. I mean, I am still very, very young, especially to be in my third year. So it was just a little bit different. I feel, how I said earlier, there's a 180 out here with coaching staff, everybody here, the gameplay, everything. It's just different. So I'm going to be me, and I think that's going to help me elevate myself and the team.
Bringing in a guy of Judon's caliber, what does that mean to the locker room?
I think it means we're taking the right step forward, and I just can't wait for him to come in and help the team in whatever way he's willing to do so or he possibly can.
And then, kind of week one is over, preseason. What is their kind of expectations as you all prepare for Baltimore?
Go out there and win. I mean, that's pretty much it. I know those guys are hungry to play, and we're really excited about that.
Full day of practice, Jesse. Defense played really well today. Just what did you see today that you're happy about?
Yeah, the most exciting thing is, this day, whatever, of camp, and, the energy has not fallen off at all. There hasn't been a lot of fights. We're getting really good work. We're starting to get into the situations of, of football that, you don't really get it as much on this practice field, but you get the preseason games, you get to look at other people's film, and certain situations pop up, like I said, that don't pop up on the practice field, and being able to go against the ones-on-ones in that situation and getting those reps is very important. So, like I said, it's just exciting. It's an exciting time for the Falcons, and the way that we're coming out here and practicing, I think, is something special that we're building.
Y'all are getting Matthew Judon, one of the best pass rushers in the league.
Mm-hmm.
What does a guy like that bring to this team? Is that almost kind of like the missing piece to get us to the next level?
Yeah, we'll take him all day. You don't find, guys like that just pop up, and you're able to acquire somebody like that before the season. So, he's somebody that's played at a high level in this league for a very long time. So, we got the same management group as well. So I'm kind of familiar with him, with the person that he is as well. And I feel like Terry and, the guys upstairs, they've done a really good job of just bringing in really good football players, but really good people as well. And that's, I feel like that's what we want to be about. That's what Atlanta Falcon is a great player that's consistent and you can rely on him, but also a great person and a great teammate as well. So happy to have him for sure.
Did you know Matthew, or do you know Matthew?
Yeah, a little bit. We got the same management group. He's based out of Dallas, so I've been around him a few times.
Did they come to you before this went through just to ask your, just to get your vibe on him?
Yeah. One thing I love about Terry is, he's always, super open with stuff. He always wants to communicate and, you know, kind of get that feel, kind of hear from other players around the league as well. So, you know, that's something that is pretty valuable, I think. And I appreciate Terry for, you know, reaching out and asking, hey, what do you think about this guy? What do you think about that guy? And like I said, Judon's a hell of a player, but a great person as well. So solid.
What kind of player like that? What can you do for the locker room?
Yeah, you know, just like anybody else that's a leader on this defense that's played a long time, you know, to add him with David and Grady up front, and for them to kind of run that up front. I mean, he won't talk much in the back end, but he'll dang sure help get that ball out faster. So it's always good. It'll help us. It'll help, you know, McGarry. It'll help Jake Matthews. It'll help our overall team to have someone like that, that level of a player to come in here and you know, and get after it.
Yesterday, Coach Lake had glowing remarks about the performance in Miami for the defense, and from the outside looking in, that's us. We're like, yeah, you guys look great, but from the inside looking out, were there areas that you were like, yeah, we could have done this, we need to do this, so before we get going? Yeah,
there's always, you know, good stuff on tape, bad stuff that you can learn from. You know, it's only bad when you don't learn from it and you keep making mistakes over and over and over. And I think the biggest thing is, you know, we did a really good job in practice, and then it led over into the game as well, where, you know, some of the younger guys were out there playing, but the drop-off of the communication and the details of our defense, I don't think it was much drop-off. And like I said, you get those reps in practice, but to have it in that full go, you're off of special teams, you got to get back on the field, you know, 2 minute, all those scenarios pop up, and like I said, you don't get it much, you know, on the field, but to see it and to watch the film with each other and, you know, digest the film, and just talk about the situations. Like I said, you can't be just a great player. You got to be able to process stuff and be knowledgeable of the game as well.
The difference between last week and this week is the joint practices. How do you replicate that same energy without those? Yeah,
you know, it's still great on great, you know, practices out there. I think, you know, last week they were down a couple of receivers, so we've seen a lot of 12 personnel and stuff like that last week in Miami. So just coming back here, being able to go against, you know, our offense. You know, some stuff is scripted, some stuff's not. But it's just great work, and it's better when you can play against each other. You know how to practice. You know the standard of practice. So no guys are getting hurt or anything like that. So I think that's the difference. You know, and just like I said, there's a lot of reps that the ones are getting right now in practice that the threes aren't, and then they'll go out there and let it all loose and put it on tape during the preseason games.
You've seen offense have a big day yesterday in practice. Then of course you all bounced back. But what were the conversations like yesterday to get you all back to where y'all got today?
Yeah, you know, we got good players on offense. You know, sometimes we get happy when the offense is making plays and you see Drake London, you know, making one-handed catches. All that stuff is good. It's good for our offense. It's good for our defense. You know, the great thing about that is, I mean, we're still in great position. You know, Kirk can't get hit right now. You know, by our D linemen. So there's a couple times where he lets go of the ball and it's like, oh no, he's sacked. So there's always that argument, but that stuff happens, you know, and it just has to be a next play mentality. And you know, like I said, the drop off, there hasn't been any type of drop off of our energy throughout practice. So whether it's going good for the offense, whether it's going, you know, good for the defense, I feel like the energy has been great on both sides.
Sorry, can you speak on about just the camaraderie of the team, for offense and defense, just the entire team and the coaching staff as well?
Yeah, like I said, I think it starts from the top down. Ra isn't just an offensive guy. I always joke with him. He's starting to become an offensive guy a little bit. But, you know, I feel like it's just good on good. Like I said, we know how to practice. We respect each other. And that camaraderie, it'll show up. You know, it may not show up today, but, you know, it'll pay off in the long run. So, yeah.
In particular had a really big day today, 2 interceptions. What did you see out of your group?
Yeah, you know, Coach Hood challenged us to, you know, we got to start attacking the ball out of the air, and for it to, you know, start with AJ. I think AJ has been dying for interceptions, and he's always pressed and, being on a man and not really looking at the quarterback as much. So for him to kind of look back and find the ball, I had the same situation. I just tried to bat it down yesterday, and Charlie still caught it. AJ actually went up with 2 and attacked the ball, and that's what we talked about in our DB room. You don't get that stuff. You don't get that stuff live. You don't get enough deep balls and being able to track the ball. And if the ball's not there, you got to play the pocket. So it's just small stuff like that you just continue to talk about and you focus on throughout the week. And for it to show up in practice, and we're actually getting some turnovers, is good.
And for a guy like Micah, what did he show today? What did you see out of him?
Yeah, AB is somebody that's. I mean, he's. I feel like a lot of people label him as a special team player, which he's great, which is fine. But he's continued to every day is just get better at his craft as a safety as well. He has all the ability to be great at it, and for him to get an interception off Kirk today, and then he fit a couple runs down there in the red zone. Just the standard. That's the standard of our DB room, and it's good to see when one of your brothers is one of my roommates over there is making plays.
Speaking of the DB room, I think there might be another addition to this team that may be in that DB room in a few days.
Yeah.
Names or anything, but.
Yeah, no names or nothing, but like I said, if there's somebody that Terry and them think that can help our team, we're more than willing to bring them in. Great players and great people. Hey, come join and get on the wave, because we got a lot of good stuff going here in Atlanta.
I wonder if you watched any of that GoPro footage from the quarterbacks just to see how you look from their eyes and if you can learn anything from them.
Yeah, I haven't got the footage of the GoPros, but it's cool to see Rob pulls it up on the team meeting room sometimes and just see how Kirk processes it, and then how excited he gets till this day. He talks a little shit as well, but it's cool to see. You get to hear the audio a little bit, and you get to. But yeah, I need to start getting some footage of that for sure. Appreciate it.
What kind of teammate? Sorry. What kind of teammate is Drake London?
Yeah, Drake. He's a young guy still. I feel like. He's his 3rd year, I think. I feel like this is the year that he can kind of take it to another level. He's got the right people around him. With a guy like Kirk Cousins being his quarterback, being super detailed in every single thing that he does, I think he'll be great. And Drake's not somebody that's just wants to catch the ball like a lot of these receivers in the league. He wants to block as well. So he wants to see his other teammates succeed as well. He wants to see other guys get open as well. So don't be surprised if Drake has a year.
Expectations for
Say that again, I'm sorry.
the expectation against Baltimore, not knowing who's going to be on the field.
Yeah, like I said, all that stuff is usually up to Ra. The next couple of days we'll know who's down, we'll know who's going. But the mentality is, if you're out there, if you got a helmet on, be ready to play the whole game. It sucks that we got a couple injuries last week in it, but it's part of our game, and it's just another step that we have to take. And as a defense, as an offense, as a special teams unit, we got to continue to get better at what we're doing, and that's just the expectations.
Collectively, you want to see improve from last week to this week?
No, actually, I thought we did a really good job last week. I think we gave up a touchdown that we could have gotten better at. But no, I think as long as we continue to communicate and make sure everybody's on the same level, and show that there's no drop off from the 1s to the 2s to 3s, that's all that matters. And continue to get those mental reps for guys that's not playing. That's huge as well.
For guys who aren't playing, what do you guys take away from those games?
Yeah, it's almost like you're playing because I got the headset in my ear, I can hear what Jimmy's calling. It almost slows the game down a little bit. You kind of put yourself, you watch your position, even if you're not playing, you're watching your position, you're watching, how would I take on this block? How would I, react in this certain formation? So that's the standard for us. Some guys got glasses on and, the chains all out. but we're locked in, just supporting our brothers, just like they do for us.
Anything else?
Yeah, what's your mental preparation going into this week's game?
Like I said, I probably won't play, but my mentality is to go out there and make sure our guys are ready, make sure that they know that there's, guys that's still watching. I always try to tell them, like, hey, once that tape turn on, this whole world is watching. This is your resume. So just making sure guys understand that and let them know that this game isn't just not valuable at all. It's something that's very important to not just them and their lives and their families, but for our team as well to learn.
How do you improve upon versus Baltimore this Saturday that you might have not done well or want to be better against in the Miami game last week?
Man, I say, just take it day by day. That's the biggest thing. Just going day by day. Just continue to find ways to get better. It's always ways to get better. And no matter how I felt, no matter how anybody else felt about the game last week, for me, I got to be better. I got to be better for the team each and every week, and that's all I do. So.
You connected on that 41-yarder to Chris Blair in the game, but the one to Casey, kind of just before that, you guys were just this close. What was that conversation like between the two of you when you got back to the sideline?
Oh, man, we just said we were going to connect the next time we got the chance, and we did. It wasn't on the go ball, but it was on, we had, a spot throw, I think that was before it, so we had a basic after that. Me and I think 7 targets to Casey, I think. So I believe we completed a couple of them. So, yeah, man, just having that trust and, just the chemistry we built out here on the practice field, just knowing that, okay, we didn't get it the first time. I know I can still come back to him and he'll make the play, so.
And that chemistry like that, because I would imagine it is so important when you guys are 35 yards apart from each other during a play and that distance is only increasing, that you see things the same way from different vantage points. Like, how do you feel like that's coming along with you and the receivers?
It's great. It's just reps. We do a lot of routes on there each and every day, and then obviously we get a lot of reps in team periods, and we take advantage of those. That's the biggest thing. Just make sure you take advantage of every rep. Not taking any reps off, and just giving each other a great look. As long as I know he gives me a great route. And if he's wide open, I'm gonna give it to him. If it's pause. If he's covered and we got that connection we built, I know where to put the ball at so he can catch it. So that's just something that you grow on each and every day. So.
What did you see on that play today in practice where I believe it was AJ intercepted you and the ball was intended for OJ?
Yeah, one-on-one. You got to give your guy a chance, and that's what I did. AJ made a good play. He was out of bounds, though.
Given your time in training camp and the preseason game versus Miami, what would you say has been the biggest adjustment into the NFL thus far?
I feel like, just the time you have. You got so much more time, it's all football. It's not, you don't got school, you don't got, all these different tutors you got to go to and stuff like that. It's football. You just building and getting better on your craft each and every day. So.
Raheem has been very big on the identity is going to kind of establish itself out on the field. And I'm curious, just from your perspective, is there any aspect of this team as a whole, as a group, that has kind of like stood out to you so far that maybe could be defined as like an identity or something like that?
I feel like this team is very consistent. I feel like this team comes out with attitude to want to work each and every day, and that's the biggest thing. These days can be long, especially in camp. You're going long days and coming in at 6 in the morning, leaving at 6 at night. So it's like sometimes that's just a range, but it's always different, but it's always it's long days. So for people to continue to be consistent, still come out with that same attitude, to want to get better, to want to put in the work, and knowing that that's what it's going to take to help this team win football games, it's special.
Going into your second preseason game now against Baltimore, what are you looking to do in that aspect, assuming you're going to play a lot again?
Yeah, for me, like I said, I just take it day by day. We had 2 really good practices these past 2 days, and just continue to build. And for me, it's just like, just make sure I stay on track. Stay consistent with everything I do. My attitude. Obviously the accuracy part as a quarterback, you got to be consistent with that. But just my attitude. Just the way I attack each and every opportunity I get to be on the field, and that's what it's always about. So.
Did Did you have a reaction to this morning's news of the trade for Matthew Dijon, knowing he's going to be across from you?
Oh yeah, that's big time. That's big time. You know, I go against the ones and in practice, and he'll be out there whenever I'm up. So you know, it's going to be a lot of great looks. You know, the guys that we have now, they've been giving me great looks as well. You know, but to add him to the team, you know, is definitely special. So.
How would you describe the culture of the Atlanta Falcons?
Oh man, I say. The culture, I feel like it's contagious. You know, it's just the way that we go about like our business. Like I said, you know, just the consistency is contagious. You know, you see one guy, you know, catching. You see who is that? That might be Jessie. If that's Jessie, he's here every day. Before practice, he's catching. He's doing it after practice. Then you see the younger guys coming out doing the same thing. You know, just seeing him the culture is contagious. You know, and I feel like everybody builds off of, you know, the older guys. You know, the veterans. You know, just showing the way and showing how, you know, they operate and why they're at the point they're at in their career. You know, and for me, you know, Kirk in his 13th year. You know, for me, just seeing how he operate. You know, and like it's contagious. You know.
Mike, I don't know if I've seen the wristbands, so apologies if that's just on me, but are those new or have they been out here? No, that quarterback wristband.
Oh yeah, we just started using it, you know, because in the game you might need some play calls on there, and just getting used to it, getting comfortable with it.
Is that something you have any experience with during your career so far?
Yeah, I've always had wristband. Yeah.
Is that comfortable for you to kind of just have it there if you need it?
Yeah, for sure.